Before we start, I would like to ask your help to do two things. First, tell a friend or two who you think might like the show. And second, please rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. The more reviews the show gets, the more likely it will even appear in search results. Thank you, and now on to the show.
They make the trek out to Burning Man for a week and a day. After a lot of work, there's a lot of play. Party, 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 drama, 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 bitch, bitch, bitch. Year after year, they come back to scratch that itch. They all say their lives have been changed. After many years, lives have been rearranged. That change is what this show is all about. You'll see the impact of Burning Man up and out. So sit back, relax, and cancel all your plans. These are the stories about the shadow of the man.
Hello, and welcome to the Shadow of the Man Show. I'm your host, Andy. What, him? Yes, that Andy. Today, our guest is Francesca. Welcome.
Welcome, everybody.
I'm in Hawaii, and where are you again? You're plus 18 in terms of time with me. It's like tomorrow, but 6 hours earlier.
Yes, it's a little bit strange. I'm on the same planet. I'm in Shanghai, China.
Right. So what's your Burning Man story? Like, what was your first experience with Burning Man? Did you go out to the Black Rock Desert, or did you experience it?
Not really. My very, very first burn was our first Chinese regional here nearby Shanghai, and that would have been 2014. That was the first time that I officially attended an event. Well, that one was not an official regional by then because it was the first time, but then it became an official regional the year after, and we have been continuing ever since.
What's it called?
And Dragon Burn.
Dragon Burn. And was that the first year of Dragon Burn? Or that was your first year?
2014 was the first year of Dragon Burn, yes.
Oh.
So all of the experience started maybe a couple of years earlier when we started to gather the community and scouting for venues, try to think about what to do, how to do it. There were a few people that were very fundamental in that process. And for me, what happened is that I went to attend like a bar camp, which was at the time was kind of like a very interesting event where you have like an unconference model. There is a venue and there is like not really a schedule. There is a big board. Mm-hmm. You put your calendar and then everybody can go and fill the spot with the workshop or sharing session or whatever. And I arrived at that afternoon. It was kind of like something between the hackerspace community and independent artists, like across this kind of people. And I went there, and there was like one of this lot was saying Burning Man in China ? China to Burning Man ? And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I knew what was Burning Man already, and I was like, well, who is this people doing this thing? And so I went there. And there was a friend, like a very dear friend since then, that was promoting the culture of Burning Man and the 10 principle, and was also saying that there was this amazing regional network of events all around the world. And then his dream was to have a Chinese regional. And so they was like very, very motivated. And then there was a couple of other people which have been to Black Rocks already, and also founded what is my theme camp there. They were living in Shanghai at the time, and so kind of like these people start together. There was like flyers going around. We did the decompression in 2013 in a place that...
How many people are you talking about?
Like that was sort of like a trying to organize something maybe like 6 or 7, I would say,
But what do you through some
something
of
like
these
that.
like get-togethers? Like how many people would show up? I mean, are there like a
Maybe 50. It depends. I
wow?
think in 50,
That's a good
60, it
number to
depends
start
from.
with. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good number. I mean, we did some projection, and then I think that the compression was very cool because it was held in a venue that was called Inferno, which seems very appropriate. It's kind of like a very underground metal bar in Shanghai, quite famous for many years,
Yeah.
and that was like a very big turnout. So that's kind of like formed a little bit of a smaller group. We start to have meet regularly. Someone gifted like was offering like a meeting space for like weekly or bi-weekly meeting, and then we just start to get the schedule of side checks, and after a year we pull out the first event.
Wow. So where do you do it? Because you're in Shanghai, like in the city. I mean, it's like somewhere out in the country.
No,
Or?
it's like it's nearby. Like it's a little bit outside. That time was an amazing location. Was an island in
Wow.
a small island inside of a lake, not far, like maybe like a couple of hours drive from here.
Oh.
And there was like this amazing cliff, like this mountain cliff. So we did projection mapping on the cliff,
Wow.
and then there was the pier and the water, and it was just like quite fabulous.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, then the venue was not available anymore. But for the first one was, I think, a very good venue.
Yeah. That sounds incredible. How many people could fit on this island?
I think how many people would fit on the site? Much more, but we were like maybe 250,
That's a good
something like
size.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If I recall, something like 200. And
Wow.
yeah, it was like very like calling out of all the community of Shanghai is quite active. There's a lot of
Really?
artists and craft and musician and things. So it was like random and chaotic, but also very interesting. And there were a few people that has been like that have been to Black Rock City already. So I think they were kind of like pushing a little bit the vibe. There was someone that volunteered to design an effigy that was a dragon egg. So that's
Oh.
also kind of symbolic. Well, the dragon comes out from the egg, and you could walk inside of the structure. Then we started to work with the reclaimed material and these kind of things. It was very successful. I was on crutches because I broke. That was like
Really?
May, no, maybe, yeah, something like May. I broke my ligament and all of my knee like
Oh.
6 weeks before, and so I was in rehab from the surgery and blah blah blah. And so I
Yeah.
arrived on crutches, and I left without, which I think was like a good. I just abandoned the crutches during the burn.
Wow. The dragon healed your
Yeah,
knee.
like exactly, just to say like what changed, like how the burn changed your life. Well,
I've learned to ignore the pain. So how many of
exactly.
these people who showed up, these 200, 250 people were actually had been to Black Rock City or another regional or had
uh, Probably less than 15 or 10.
oh
Very,
yeah.
very few.
Doesn't
Yeah.
take too many people. Yeah. Yeah. And so that was what in 2014? That was the first one.
Yes.
Wow. And so
Yeah.
you guys been doing it continuously every year?
Yes. So we have a funny story. Like so, we have done it continuously until 2019 with mostly every time in different venues, more or less, except the last 2 years. Then 2020, of course, we had to stop, and there was a little bit of like up and down over the years. So we have been done it almost every year in either being a regional, like an official regional event,
Mm-hmm.
or being an unburn, or being no, we don't do the event this year, but then we still go out to the venue and we kind of like camp, and everybody knows, and everybody bring their thing. So kind of
Mm-hmm.
like different formats for a variety of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
We also we got canceled we got canceled once. That was like 2019, in 17, 3 days before the event. And in 3 days, we found another venue and we moved everything of like 150 kilometers and
Wow.
we just did it.
What happened? Why was it
There
canceled?
was the venue was under the jurisdiction of Hangzhou, which is a city not far from here, and that was the time. I think that was like the G8 or the G20 or some one of these international gathering.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a last minute decision from the authorities that no public event should have been held in the land for those days. So
Okay.
everybody got canceled, actually, not only us. But it
Wow.
was 3 days before, so we got this call from like the people that were sort of like in the more um, like execution team that year, and they said, "Oh, we have some news, and the news is that we got canceled, but we also found another venue." And we're like, "Oh, okay, what is it?"
Wow.
And it was like, yeah, 100 kilometers far away from there, mainly. So we had to kind of reorganize a little bit the logistic and the moving the stuff. And the funny thing that this was also on an island, but we could reach the island only with very small, not canoe, but kind of like this wood. I don't know how to call it in English, but it's a little bit bigger than a canoe, but not that big. So the loading of all the equipment on this like wood um, thing to go on the other side of the shore was like quite funny.
So one of those the
And then
outrigger canoes?
something like that.
Is
Yeah,
there
I
is
mean,
like
you
this
could. There
the
is
side?
like a pier,
Uh,
like there is kind of a deck, but then there is an indoor place where you can fit maybe like 6 people or something, and then you
ah,
have the deck outside. So not very convenient for loading equipment. It's not our equipment. It was not that complicated at the time, but still you have
yeah,
boxes and things and stuff and
yeah.
stages, and so that was fun. And it rained for 4 days. The effigy was not able to lit because it
Too
was
wet.
soaked in mud and water, and so we rebuilt the last minute effigy with the leftover the barbecue sticks. And anyway, it was cool.
Wow. I mean, and how many people did you have at that? I mean, because I guess you could only like ferry people over on the boats, right? I mean,
Yeah, and I think it was all the no, the boats was kind of going like back and forth, so they
uh,
could carry people. It's just that there was this interesting sort of like gate experience, which was not gate, but we were having chunks of people arriving. It's not clear when because it was subject to the people driving the boats, and they were like in groups of like 15 or 20s. And so there was this continuous gate kind of welcoming thing that was quite funny, like completely unplanned, but like quite interesting. And yeah, that was fun.
wow.
And then after that, we yeah, and then we went to a place where we stay for a few years, and we're still there. It's kind of like we're still working with this venue since then, uh, in different formats.
Yeah. What's your new place? Is it still an island?
No, it's not an island. It's a bamboo forest. It's
Oh,
still next to a reservoir, so it has like a little bit of a. We cannot get into the water, but there is like a very nice water landscape, like very beautiful. And and we've been there since 2018 with some
like COVID
different.
off
Sometimes
years.
like the place is huge. Like I think the place could host like 15,000 people, no problem. And
Really?
so we really don't need, yeah, like it's a huge campground, and then there is a terrace area with the flower, like it's kind of like a flower farm. It's funny,
Huh.
like it's like it's like a reforestation like area plus a flower farm that was also surround like you have some kind of like landscape decoration. Like I don't know, there is one big sign that say love. You know the letters that are on playa sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that exactly that kind of thing. Because people would go there in the flowering season to take wedding photos. So there is
Oh,
like a fake balloon, there is a giraffe, a couple of sort of gate, but everything is very decadent because this is not happening anymore, which is kind of make it cool because then you can interact a little bit with the environment and do some like funny stuff.
yeah. I mean, how many people are at Dragonburn now? Like, what's it? You said
So
you get 15,000, but I mean,
no, of course. No,
that's
that was like
insane.
the venue is a campground. So when they have busy weekend during holidays, they arrive to have like 4 or 5 thousand guests. No
Mm.
problem. No, we are like our biggest was around 900, like a little
Wow.
bit less than 900. And last year, which was the last official one, we were 650, I would say. And this year that was informal, we don't know, but maybe like 300, 350, something like that.
Oh yeah. Hmm. That's incredible. And so, like, are there a lot of people travel there from other like far-flung places, or is it mostly just kind of local Shanghai burners?
No, there is a few communities around the country. So there is a lot, like a few groups that comes from Beijing or Shenzhen. Like there is quite of a few
Oh.
people that come from around, like maybe I would say, I don't know, 50% or something like that. Depends also from the year. We had times where people were coming from like big numbers uh, from other cities, and
Mm-hmm.
the most of the people, of course, is like nearby Shanghai and the cities nearby. And then we always have a very good um, like we have a lot of people coming from other regionals as well. We had like several international people from nowheres, like friends of friends, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
friends of ourselves going to the regionals, team camp, like friends of Black Rock City. Last year we had a group of they came from the Russian burn that we didn't know them. We just sent They send us a message and they say, "Oh, we're coming.
Oh.
It's 8 of us." And this year we had a group of from Japan burn,
So
also
wait,
like 7 or 8 of them.
The Russian burn is like are they still they're still like a Russian like Burning Man group? Are they? I'm not sure. Like, are they
There is,
allowed to do that? Like in this day and age? Oh, skipping there.
or maybe even three, but they definitely do two. One is the first week of August, and the other one I think is first week of September. I don't remember the name of the location, but there are two of them.
Huh.
And then there is also a community of Russian that is living for part of the year in Bali, and they're also doing a Bali burn since a few years. They're no official
Wow.
regional. I think the Russian one is maybe one of them is an official regional, but they run for every year for many years. And the Bali is like maybe 2 or 3 years that they run in it. And uh, they're trying to get more involved with the local community, of course, but apparently it's very beautiful.
Yeah. I've heard about this Bali burn. Is that like is it mainly like a bunch of like expat like Russians down there? I mean, are there also like local Balinese like burners?
They're trying to work with the locals. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a super easy process. I mean, Bali, as far as I know, is not a place where let's put it this way. There are a lot of expats, so it's not necessarily super easy to kind of like build community with the local. But I think it's just a matter of time. When we started also Dragonbone, I think the first few years, definitely the ex like the I don't like to use the word expat, but let's say the international people were outnumbering the locals, and now we are like 95% of the local.
Oh,
So
really?
I think it's just a matter. Yeah, yeah.
And
Most of the
what
people
about you?
we have been running.
No, you said that there also were there some other groups of Chinese burners. You said like Beijing and some other, like other city. Like so, there's other like active groups of like local like people been to like just start off with like a group of people that went to Black Rock City, but there's other like active burners out there.
Yes, so there is, I think it's quite a diverse scenario. So there are like
Yeah.
groups, like in big city, there are groups of people that maybe they have been to Dragonbone, and so there is kind of like some local community that are more like art related, or it's kind of like a community in its sense. Then there is people that there is also a lot of Chinese burners that go to Black Rock City, and maybe they have never heard about Dragonburn, and maybe they don't go to Black Rock City. I mean, maybe Dragonbone is not their thing, because maybe they're
Mm.
looking for some sort of like more extravagant or extreme sort of experience. But we have sometimes we are in touch or we find people that actually they are genuinely curious. They just don't know that there is a regional network out there,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe and sometimes they get curious. And we have some people that have been first to Black Rock City, and then they came to us, or vice versa. We try to help locals to go to Black Rock City or to other regional to kind of like facilitate or connect with the camps and logistic and
Mm-hmm.
thing. Some people go to Black Rock City because it's Black Rock City and they may have no idea that there are regionals, but sometimes we find ways to get in touch. And so it's really, I think I mean, I've been one of the things that, uh, like I've been helping placement to try to do a sort of census of the Chinese camp in Black Rock City, also because some of them, they were also kind of like more on the plug and play side, or like kind of like people that get hyper organized and then go with this like very structured. And so we wanted to understand how was their way of being in Black Rock City, and maybe just give them the right support that they may have needed. So we went through some in like kind of like check. I was going with the camp and get in touch with the people. And also we have and so there is quite a big number of Chinese. Like for in all of the volunteering that I do in Black Rock City, I actually can understand. I realize that there is a lot of Chinese out there, and it's funny, like because then they don't expect you to speak the language, so you kind of like can shock them a little bit in some of the
Yeah.
situation. Like I don't know,
Do you
tea
guys
lot,
have
4 a.m.
do you guys have like a regional camp? Like, because I years ago I started the Hawaii regional group, and we had a camp out in the playa, and like at its largest, it was like it was almost like a village. We had like 600 and some odd people, but it was literally like clusters of different groups, and but it was just kind of like it was like, oh, this is like Hawaii, and there's like the different, like the islands were kind of like the different areas. And I remember like talking to years ago, Ian will love this. Like we were like, we should take over like one of those plazas, and we're gonna call it the Ring of Fire, right? It's like you guys
Yeah,
over there, we'll be over here. We'll have like Argentina like over there, maybe Alaska over
yes.
there. But having like some sort of playa presence, I mean, because right now it sounds like there's a good number of Chinese burners, but they're just sort of scattered in different camps. I mean, do you ever have like
So
a
this is yes, they are scattered, but I think for a reason. So there are a few things that happen. So in my camp, actually, thanks to also Ian and other people that have been maybe regional contact, or that has been a little bit more experience with the Chinese and Taiwanese community for many years. So we do a Chinese speaking party on Playa that we've been doing it for like many years. And that's interesting because like the most absurd people just show up in that thing. They just find it on the guide, they get there. And so the idea is also to try to understand how everybody makes it to back to Black Rock City, like what are the many
huh?
route that brings you there. And then this is hosted at my camp, Spice and Vice, which is not like which is where most of the community of Dragonbird would go to camp, because it's founded by also like the founder of Dragonbird. I mean, it's kind of like a very large international community where we basically is like we are maybe like 80% of international every year. It's a camp that exists for 15 years. It's very solid, very like very well equipped to welcome people from abroad. And it's kind of like a home. So if we have some of us that want to go to Black Rock City, then you would say, hey, go to my home, it's cool. I promise. And
Yeah.
then we kind of have all the stories. But then there is a few other things. There is China Village, which is inside the Global Village, which is, I think, the biggest so far. And then he kind of like emerged from one of these sort of like a little bit plug and play attempted a few years ago. But then, in fact, over the years, they start to, I mean, they improved a lot, and they also doing an art card now, I think. That like also their communication, you see, is like a little bit is different. It's kind of like more about participation, and it's more about getting involved and supporting a different way of being in Black Rock City. I think it's still some kind of very high-end organized for the logistic in some ways,
Yeah.
but it got a little bit better, and has been inside of the global village for quite a few years now. And then last year, in the last couple of years, there was someone that did the art project. So they got funded from an art project, or they received a grant or not. But anyway, they were doing art on Playa, and so they had like some art support camp. And so those were also kind of like Chinese camp. There's in a lot of the time, I think it's some Chinese people that is living in the US, and so kind of like can help out with the logistic a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, that I would say is most of the case, because then it would be otherwise it would different. Like our
Yeah.
effigy, like one of our effigy lead, he did an art project a few years ago in Black Rock City, and we really wanted him to camp with us, because it's like, come on, you are our effigy lead. Like, where do you want to go? And then he ends up camping with some of these other people because they were providing a sort of like, more comfortable logistics, something. I don't know.
Well, that's something that I have some experience too, coming from Hawaii. Like personally, like my brother lives in San Francisco, and so like I'll fly in there. Like he has like everything there. Like no matter where in the world you're coming from, it could be from like Lithuania, South Africa.
Yes.
I mean Shanghai. That's probably about as far as you can get, right? I'm not
Mm,
sure how many like direct flights there are, but yeah, same thing with Hawaii. It's like, we had to have like logistics. We had friends like on the mainland, and so like the idea of like doing the camp on the playa was kind of, it was twofold. It was kind of to help kind of gather people together, and then uh I don't know, to also logistically kind of help some people out, because a lot of people, it's like they just show up like
mm,
when like in an airplane. And like at most you could have
yeah.
like, maybe two duffel bags.
Yeah.
For like, oh, I gotta be there for like 9 days and bring all my food and everything. And it's like, how do you do that? But it's not, on the one hand you can say, oh, it's kind of like plug and play, but the other hand it's like, well, no, you're helping people, who it would be for most ordinary people, from far away. It's like it's extraordinarily
Mm,
difficult. It's like you're not
mm-mm.
like
Yeah, of
selling like
course.
a luxury camp experience,
Yeah.
but you are like helping people. Yeah. Do you guys do stuff like that
Yeah, I think
too?
I totally agree. I totally agree. It's like sometimes it's like, I mean, my setup in Black Rock City is extremely minimal, and people know me for the how small is my tent, and how like minimal is my setup. But yeah, of course, it's like there is all the logistic about like renting RVs, or like, I mean, people has different needs and things. So it's good that everybody can be accommodated in the way that they prefer. Of course, like the camp is helping a little bit. I have a couple of boxes stored in a friend storage nearby Reno, which helps a lot. So I don't have to. There are certain things that I don't have to put on my list anymore, because I know that they are there. Um, but this year, the camp is not going, so I'm kind of still trying to figure out
Hmm.
what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I have some ideas, but not fixed, like not decided yet.
Well, I think sometimes it's kind of fun to sort of throw things in the mix. It's like try something different, like a little bit off the
Mm,
beaten path for a year. It's like, you know what?
exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
flaming hula hoops. It's like I didn't think I would like it, but it's like I love it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, incredible. So who is the person who founded Dragonburn?
So there is a few names
That's
that I think need to be mentioned. So one is Van, who was, which is like definitely, I would call him like a burned veteran. He was in Baker Beach. I don't remember if it was in Baker Beach or if it was at the first Black Rocks, maybe the first Black Rock City event, and is a San Francisco, like come from San Francisco, so very like coming from those years, and then he moved to live to Asia for many years, and because of
huh.
a holiday, like a job leaves that he cannot take during the week of Black Rock City. He hasn't been back in Black Rock City for a very, very long time.
Oh,
So
was
it's
his
kind of like
what was
waiting
his
for
name?
for retirement.
What was his name?
Sven
Oh,
Serrano.
Sven. Ah.
And very active. Now he's been living in other cities in China for a while. So he was trying to build like a local community in other cities, like absolutely like a, we call him the grandpa of Dragonburn. And that is definitely, I mean, a person with an incredible reputation and also like a fantastic historical value for the whole community. And then there are Nick and Jen, which were we were living here in Shanghai a few years ago, and then they also founded Spice and Vice in Black Rock City, which were kind of like the people that actively start to look for venue, organize site checks, kind of like get the production and the logistic done. And then together with them, a few other people that were experienced like Black Rock City folks that sort of like give like the the logistic when you have done it once, your second time you
Hmm.
know a little bit better how to do it.
Oh
So that
yeah.
energy was kind of cool. Yeah, the first years we did, I remember with Nick, we did like maybe we went to visit like 15 venues in 3 months. Like it was crazy. It was like every free time we were just jumping on a taxi and go to see a venue to try to find a decent place where to host the event. It was like absolutely crazy. A lot of
Wow.
fun. So, but it was yeah, it was hard. And then since then we kind of established, and then there is like I think three of us now that has been from the very beginning, like four of us that has been from the very beginning that are still part of the production team and they still live here. Yeah, four of us.
So you first went to Dragon Burn. That was your first burning experience in 2014. Like what was the first year you actually went out to the Black Rock Desert?
2015.
Oh, very next year.
Yeah, the very next year. It was kind of like a yeah, 2015 and I mean we felt we went like two of us and Nick and Jen were there, and it was kind of like it felt like a little bit kind of like okay, we're doing this thing, so we did it for 2 years, and then it was like, well, this looks like perfect, let's just go to like we felt that that we wanted to kind of see an actual Burning Man event to be able to understand what exactly we were doing
Hmm.
a little bit. If like it felt and it was like it was a good moment. So we just went there, and yeah, of course, it was great. It was like a feral, I would say, after probably the second worst weather after 2025. So it was like really tough, but yeah, it was good. It was very nice. It's quite amazing.
So the two of you, like, where did you camp with? Like, did you or just
It's
the
Spice
two?
and Vice.
Oh, so did you guys started that camp that year, or that
No,
was the
no,
two years?
the camp was started by
Oh,
many years ago
ah,
from two of the people that started also Dragonburn. So for us
hmm.
was kind of like going to we knew only the two of them, but we were coming from Dragonburn and they were the found. I mean, it was kind of like just basically reconnected with a family that we didn't know we had it until then.
So did all these like stories that people said like it suddenly like make sense? Like after you kind of made it through the gate and you kind of put up your tent, and you're kind of wandering around, and you're just kind of like, ah, okay. Now I see what you mean.
Yeah, like something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so have you been going back like to the playa like every year since, or
No,
like
so the
must be hard, no?
I've done 15, 17, 19. Like the idea was to go every 2 years because that seems to be like a reasonable, also coming from so far.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went back in 2023, and then I did 23, 24, and 25. So
Oh
I kind
wow.
of like, and I think I will do this year as well. Yes, I think I'll do this year as well. I things change, so there are different reasons why I'm going. I've been going in the past 3 years every year. It's not
Mm-hmm.
something I necessarily want to do, but I was doing stuff, so that was the that kind of like came spontaneously.
So
And
people needed you to do stuff. You sort of get roped into
no,
the
it's not that
leadership.
people needed me, but so there are a few things that so what happened is that after, like before, beside the first year, 2015, which of course you go and you're like just doing your camp. And we went for earlier, like we went with early arrival to build the camp. So even from the very first year, I was on Playa for like 11 or 12 days.
Yeah.
And then and then from 2017, I started to kind of figure it out which were the department. I mean, kind of like doing some volunteering work and join like a different department and stuff. And then there is one very beautiful thing that is called at the time it was called the mentorship program, and now it's called like a co-learning program. So which is something that is organized by the regional network. So if you're coming from a regional community, you can join a department in Black Rock City as a shadowing, as a collaborator, as a mentor, as a co-learner, whatever. And then of course you're supporting and doing things on Black Rock City, but you're also maybe thinking about what are the things that you want to develop for your own regional. So it's kind of like this very nice exchange, and so this was like an amazing opportunity. So I started to do that, and I've done it every year with a different department. So I've kind of seen quite a few things around Black Rock City. And then I also volunteer with the Zendo for many years, because I also do the same kind of work in Europe to other festival.
Oh.
And then our camp is in the Green Corridor, and we were very interesting in kind of working with the Borders Without Border. So I kind of like we were going around and doing this interview to the camp about sustainability, how they get their solar setup done, how they recycle their water. I'm kind of very nerdy person, so for me it's like that's the most interesting part. I just going on the backstage and see how things are done.
Yeah.
So I kind of like always like very active. And then 2023, I start to volunteer with Gate, which
The
I
rainy
love.
year. Right? The
The
big
rainy
rain.
year,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, the rainy year. It was perfect. I mean, it's like which better department you could choose on a rainy year. And I
Yeah.
really like it. So I'm kind of doing. I just feel that I want to do this. If you go every year, you get the things a little bit more straight. You know, you kind of understand. Like pieces come together in a better way. Also for yourself. Also, I think for your personal
Yeah.
story and relationship with the place.
Well, with Burning Man,
Uh,
it's so big. There's so much. I mean, it takes maybe a couple of years to, soak it up all in, I mean.
yeah,
So what
it took me like.
departments? Yeah. So what departments have you cycled through or experienced?
So a little bit of placement, a little bit of fire department, a little bit of fire safety, and some learning, and perimeter, like a fire perimeter. Last year, I was working a little bit on flame effects and Zendo gate, and the sustainability team, which is not really burners without burner, but there is a group of people that is doing this mapping of the sustainability of the different camps, and which is not really a department, but it's somehow a group. And maybe this one, yeah, maybe this one,
This one?
yeah, I mean, like maybe this few that I mentioned, yeah,
Oh yeah.
I cannot recall others at the moment, yeah.
That's a lot. Well, let's see. You still have like Rangers and medical and DPW and like we said gate, right?
Oh, a little bit of DPW, but very little. But that was a very cool one. One year I was mentoring with the person that is in charge of the external services. So all of the
Oh.
cranes and the thing and the porta potties and how many generator, how many solar generator, maintenance, where's the fuel, blah, blah, blah. So I went like, it's kind of nice to see. I haven't done much physically, but I learned a lot about all of the, like how these things
Huh.
are organized, rented, maintained. I was like this enormous spreadsheet that make Burning Man actually work, and all of it was amazing. And he was the person that I asked this person, what do you recommend I could do if I have a few hours to spend volunteering? And he suggests me go to Gate, and it
Hmm.
was a great suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you like about Gate?
there you see. Well, a few things, but definitely the fact that you see the people that go to Burning Man in the best way possible, because you wouldn't meet those people in another situation at Burning Man, and you can see everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really see everybody, and then you see the vehicle, man. I mean, I live in a like US is crazy. You drive like they drive like this huge amount, like these trucks, like as they are like normal family car. And for me, like some of those vans are like 5 times bigger than my apartment. So I kind of just like I love this. It's very. It looks very like at Gate. Everything looks very steampunk. Like I really like it. It's like this very steampunk feeling. And you can see everybody. You see all of the personalities and the character. People that would go to places of Black Rock City that you will not go because you don't like it. They're not your style, but you will meet them. You
Hmm.
see all of the trash fans diversity. That part I really really like it. You have the feeling that you meet everybody, and then
So,
you have to be
like most of the people coming through the gate, that the gate, I mean, and you guys will see people before the greeters even get them.
yeah
I imagine like the vast majority of people are just like, I mean, they're probably tired, they're exhausted. Some could be grumpy, but they must be like just so happy. They're
yeah
just like, I made
yeah
it, I made it. And you're just like, yes, you did. Well, you got your ticket. Okay, yes, you did. Otherwise,
yeah.
you go over there. Like,
And I think this is after a while, it's kind of like it's feeling. Um, of course, I mean the sentiment and the interaction can be of a diversity, but the point of us is making people go in as safe and as fast as possible. And the point of them is to go in as safe and as fast as possible. So it's kind of like we're matching the like is a very high matching potential, and then the fact that you're setting is kind of like the first human encounter that you're having. I mean, I think is just like amazing. It's like it's a very even if it lasts for a few seconds, it's just like so intense,
oh
and
yeah, I got to tell
I
you,
just
like
love that.
this last year, my brother and I, we would completely unintentionally, we were online for 20 hours. So 20.
Mm, mm,
I mean, if you
I
told me
know.
beforehand going into it, like, this is what's going to happen to you, I'd be like, no way, no how.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not going to go, like, forget it. But it was just like 1 hour bled into another hour. And then it's like at 3 in the morning, like, like the road's open, like, yay. But then it's like, by 4 hours later at like 7 a.m., it's like, does like the line actually kind of make it back to where we are? And then it's like 11 a.m. by the time. But even after all of that, it's like you get and you go through and you get your ticket and you go in and you're just like, it's like, you're just like, I'm here. Like, thank you very much.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's nice. I mean, the people at Gate are amazing also, and I think there's some kind of um like I don't know, I like the idea to be like you're the steward of the city, and you're like it's also strange because I have one of the reasons why I like to go back to Black Rock City is just because Black Rock City, I think like the desert, the environment, like this the
Mm.
harsh thing. For me, there is also like a personal kind of connection with the environment itself. And the fact that you spend a lot of time outside on like at the border where everything that is coming out is gonna be stronger. Like the
Hmm.
wind is stronger, the whiteout are stronger. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
like I don't know. I like this kind of like a discomfort that is for me is like one of the reasons to kind of like um, it's not much for the radical self-reliance. I think it's like it's like you have the chance to be in a dialogue with the environment on your own, and still you are kind of safe. I mean, at the very end, it like needs to be really dramatic in order to be that you are like, it's not that the nature put you in danger, but you have you feel the danger in your heart, and you have to kind of fight it, and then you get
Yeah.
strength, and then you get ideas, and you get also a lot of respect that grows and stay in your heart. So for me, the desert is really just like a very important part of Black Rock City. And even though the regionals can be every environment, gives you this possibility. But that one, of course, because of the scale, it's a little bit more majestic than usual. Let's say, like, it's a very, very amazing place that those folks managed to find
Hmm.
years ago. So yeah, that I
Yeah,
like a lot.
that's what I don't know. I always kind of think many people will say like, "Oh, the regionals are the future of Burning Man," and like I'm like, yeah, I agree, but like I think it's kind of like an ecosystem, where it's like there will always be Black Rock City, and then there will always be like regionals. Kind of sometimes like if you look almost like the Olympics, you know,
Hmm.
it's like oh, it's like people can come together in Black Rock City from all over the world, and like all of these like smaller like more regional events, you know, but it's like there's no like well, I don't know, like the Olympic Committee. It's like I mean, it's like they're not telling you what to do. It's just like each community kind of like has like their artists and their community, and and then they all
Hmm.
we kind of like add it to like in one chaotic place. I mean, who knows? Maybe somewhere else will come along. And they'll be like, it's like, oh
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
like somewhere in
absolutely.
Turkmenistan you can have like 200,000 people or something. Like, I mean,
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I think that the scale is really much less than and some places are suited, I think, for bigger crowds, and of course, Black Rock City is one of them, because I think
mm-hmm.
it feels like I mean, I think that the issue is like maybe the like it's like it's the logistic, but the relationship with the environment is like so phenomenal. Actually,
Yeah.
the fact that the city is so big make the interaction with the environment even more interesting, because it's not
Mm-hmm.
like it would be much easier if it were like 10,000 people or 5,000 people to react to all of it, to the dust storm and to the rain, and the
Mm-hmm.
things really, like, we are many. And if you're thinking about, I mean, I live in a 20 million city, so for me, the idea that the interaction of is with the multitude, like, is between environment and multitude, for me is like is a normal thing in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that I'm not surprised by that. There are other
Yeah.
places that smaller crowd would make it more challenging, because
Mm-hmm.
you don't have enough resources, and here you probably have too much resources, so you need to kind of like like scale down very quickly mentally in order to be
Yeah.
able to just not get everything destroyed.
Well, I think there
Last
are
year was
different kind of
amazing.
different experiences at different levels. Like something with like the 250 people like on an island, or like 650 or 900 like over here, or something like I just went to like the unscrews, the Santa Cruz one that was like what 3,000, 3,500. I mean numbers, but also
Who cares?
it's it's not quantity, it's quality. Right, I mean
Hmm.
it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
about like you can have like I mean we did events on the beach years ago. It was just like 40 people, and it was like no generator, no nothing. We're just like and we did like a cleanup, and we had like a bonfire, and we had just acoustic music, and we had a great time.
Of course, of course. Yeah, no, I think that I think it's very, I mean, I think not having a great time is just because you haven't thought about having a great time. I mean, if you think about it, you just have it, and it's
Hmm.
cool. I'm a very, I try to make things like simpler and straightforward, It's just like, it's just up to you.
Hmm.
Honestly, it's just like up to all of us in any moment, which I think is something I learned probably, or the burn helped to. It's kind of like brought this inspiration in general. If you wanna make it good, you make it good.
Yeah. So what was your life like before encountering Burning Man? Like where'd you grow up? Like how'd you what got you here?
So as well, I grew up in Italy, and actually um, the reason why, when I saw this that sign that was talking about the possibility of a China regional, the reason why I was attracted, it was because I knew about Burning Man before. So like for me, it's something like since of the time of Baker Beach. I've been growing up. I grew up in Italy in kind of like a uh, activist and underground movement scene. So between squat and self-organized events with different kind of like uh, radical intention. We were building like welding art piece and machine by ourselves, like the hack meeting and like a free software movement. So we knew that there was something in the United States, very far away, very, very far away place. And then these people were doing some very do-it-yourself stuff involving some fire thing that was very fascinating. For us, I mean, I think I was looking at them as a sort of, oh, this is like kind of like a cool anarchist gathering, and they're doing the things with the logistic that they have that we don't have in Europe, but we were basically doing the same thing, even if not
Mm-hmm.
maybe with the idea of like a gathering of that scale. So it's kind of like always be one of those things that, oh, maybe one day we will go and blah, blah, blah. And being part of a like self-organizing movement for basically like since I was in the high school, uh, I cannot really say that everything at Burning Man was new. Actually, no, that's not the case. But I think it was interesting for me the fact that because it's like it's more like it's not a political movement. Like it's not like I mean I was coming from very involved kind of communities, and then all of a sudden these things kind of expand to be like a culture related sort of thing where you can I think that the idea of the 10 principle together and the fact that there is so many people that are doing these things and so many people that show a diversity, even though you don't have you're not coming from the same background. That was like really fascinating to me, and it
Yeah.
kind of like make me get out of I was basically doing the same thing, but now I can just then I just like, of course I do it this way. It's kind of like it's the most normal. Uh, like you get things organized and you help each other and you build what you need. You fix what it doesn't work, and if you fail, you just keep going, or you improve yourself, or you give yourself some time for rest. I don't know, just like this sort of mentality. It kind of like for me was cool that I moved to another country, and I kind of like was very difficult. I still have the relationship with my communities, but I had to change my communities. This was kind of perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like absolutely perfect because I could be the person that I was and just like continue and yeah, just keep growing in a way.
I mean, well, I don't know. One way you could look at it is almost not quite like a rebranding, some people would say. It's like before you're an activist, now you're an artist. It's like achieving the same goals, but, it's like, but, branding it in a different way.
Yeah, I think yeah, you're right. I mean, I think that more the branding is kind of like a little bit
Almost
kind of
explaining
like
it to yourself. Yeah.
expanding. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just like a different way, and he actually give more strength to you. You actually get more option of you have more ways and means to be an activist once you tap into an actual creative
Mm-hmm.
community where the creativity is like the it's kind of like it's a little bit sharpened, and then you have more means, and I have more opportunity to to kind of learn. That's one of the reasons why I go back. I mean, because I'm learning every time like cool things and just like to
Mm-hmm.
make things by myself. So your tools just become sharper. So there's no reason why I should stop this process. I cannot really think about it.
Yeah. So is what time of year does Dragon Burn happen? Or is it just once a year?
It's first week of May, from usually May 1st to May 5th,
Oh.
is aligned to the Labor Day holiday. And which is May for like International Labor Day is May 1st. So there is 5 days of holiday. And that's where usually we place it.
Oh, oh wow. It's funny. A lot of things are in May, but yeah, that is funny. I was talking to someone else who's talking about like when to plan like a date, and I was said, well, you have a permit for to do one event a year. Pick like for a 4 day thing. It's like pick the best 4 days of the year, like, for your
Mhm.
spot. Because like I mean, undoubtedly there's going to be something in like Colorado or South Africa or Germany
Yeah.
or wherever.
Yeah.
It's like just to do
Yeah,
what you.
you cannot. There's no way. And the Africa burn is also like more or less the same date. There's something in I think there is an early burn in Europe or something. There are too many. I mean, the number of regional burns are more than the week that are available on a calendar year. So this makes the
Yeah,
math quite easy. So
yeah. Also,
it
another
doesn't
thing
matter.
was like a couple of years ago. Who was I talking to? I was talking to some of the like, people up at Burning in the project, the organization, and we were trying to figure out like just like how many people have gone to like and to Black Rock City, and then they pretty much expanded to like anyone who's been to like any regional or to Burning Man and at least once, and the number came out to something like a million.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's
Yeah, I
like, and then you got to
saw
think like the
that.
second and third order of magnitude people. It's like, oh, like the people who are like related to them or friends with them. Like you're saying, like, oh yeah, I'd heard about this thing like years before I went. It's like you're kind of you know bringing breathing in like the secondhand smoke of it.
Yeah, totally, totally. Yeah. Yeah, the numbers is very high, but I'm used to like I try to go to like two or three regionals every year.
Wow, that's a lot.
Also
Yeah.
because it's kind of nice. Yeah, but also it's nice to kind of like I mean, in this part of the world, like there are some amazing community like I was mentioning, like Japan and in particular, and then New Zealand. I start to go to Kiwi Burn is also like fantastic. Um, you try to do like two or three, but many like most of the people that I know that are involved, they try to kind of do a couple of events a year, and then it's sometimes the same, sometimes because maybe you start to do a project of some kind, or you have a particular crew that you want to work with for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and or maybe just because you want to see how other things around and how people that's been running events for a long time and what is the you always try to improve a little bit uh, yourself and get inspiration from the others. So is the yeah, that's like I think I would say the for from the most for many of the people here that we kind of like to travel. I mean, it's not that expensive to go for us to go to Japan. It's like really quite cheap. Like the flights are cheap, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
something that you have to think too much. It's not like oh, you have to go to the US. Okay, now you kind of need to do a little bit of counting, but is this is fairly like affordable.
Well, okay, here's another separate question because I just started thinking, I was like, Dragonburn sounds like a lot of fun. It's like I'd like to go. But then someone coming from a far away to your regional, the same thing applies. It's like showing up in a plane with like a duffel bag. It's like, could you just?
Mhm.
I mean, so where Dragonburn happens, like, can you just kind of show up in a tent and, I mean, or maybe hook up with some like local burners or I guess the
Yeah,
whole
like so.
community.
I mean, we are all in tents. I don't even have a tent. I just have a hammock. So you just need a hammock.
Wow. How warm is it
And
there? Like is it May
it's
1st?
okay. Like May is okay. It could be a little bit chilly at night, but it's never too crazy. But for people that come to outside, they get in touch with us, and if it's about finding one more sleeping bag or a tent, that usually has never been a problem. Like our logistic is very. I think one of the things that is very funny for me is that people that is come that like our logistic is fairly simple. Like our ticket is 25 US dollar. Okay. Then you pay
Oh,
$15 to the landlord for a camping fee, because now we keep it separated. But it's $25. It's like it's nothing. What, like,
yeah.
how things cost in this country. Also, the logistic. Like, if you want to arrive to the airport, take a taxi, and drive to the venue with a taxi is gonna be $50 max, and it's like
Oh, really?
250 kilometers. Okay. So it's
Really?
like we're talking about something that it becomes all of a sudden extremely affordable and extremely easy to organize.
Wow.
This year we had a few, the Japanese friends were, they were like so cool, because we got in touch last year, and some of us, we went to their burn, and then they say, okay, we're coming. And they bought the flight ticket in maybe, I don't know, December or January, like very early. And we usually don't start any planning work until March. And I told them, guys, it's too early. Don't do that. Like, just wait. But they bought the flight ticket. And then at the end of March, we announced that the event would have not happened. And
Oh,
of course, they
no.
were pissed off, because they wanted to bring all their thing, and the fashion show and the art pieces and this and that.
Oh, wow.
And then we said, well, the event is not happening, but we're kind of like going there. So you guys should still come, you know? So it was this kind of like informal thing happening, where some of the thinkers were there. Not everybody was there, but some of the thinkers were there. A few of the artists were there. 300 people show up. They brought their fashion show and their
Wow.
thing, and it turns out to
That's
be
nice.
fantastic.
Yeah. Was that this year?
So it's like, yeah, it was this year. So it's just like, it's very easy to, like, it's very easy to organize logistic. And people sometimes is of course, say, oh, I'm coming with nothing, what can I do? But it's like, we have support, and also it's very easy to do things here. But and it's so easy that I sleep in a hammock, even if I just like, it's just the best things I could do. I love to sleep in a hammock, and the forest is amazing. So it's
Yeah.
perfect. But but also in Black Rock City, I sleep in I have, my tent is minimal, and my bed is 3 years ago we bought the fridges, because we went from being a zero electricity camp to be a fully solar camp in one shot. And so we bought these two fridges for the camp, and my bed is literally the two cardboard of the fridges, just like, because it's insulating from the cold of Playa, it's insulating from the heat of Playa. It's soft enough, it fits exactly on my tent. It's disposable. I don't have to carry it. I just leave it in the container, and I just put like a soft blanket on top of it. I'm done, and it's easy to, clean from the dust. It's just perfect. And people think
So
you're crazy. Like,
is the
no.
box that the freezer came in with the
Yeah,
styrofoam and everything?
yeah. No, without the styrofoam, just the cardboard.
Just a
It's
cardboard.
two
So
Just two
you
cardboard boxes. Like,
you're,
yes.
so you're living in a cardboard box on the playa. Now
Yeah.
that's
No,
hardcore.
I
I like that.
sleep on top of a cardboard box.
Oh, I thought you
Just
sleep inside of
I
it.
don't
Like,
live inside. No,
oh,
that would be an idea for the future.
yeah, you can have a whole camp, you can have like a little village,
Like,
and have like little roofs. And like I remember when my son was small, like yeah, we get a big
and it's
box
like
and I would cut
full of
windows and
ratchet to not fly away.
like
No, no, I don't live in a cardboard box.
the first rain that comes by, it's all like, ooh, like oh. All right. So let's get to the last question. So yeah, so what is the impact or influence of Burning Man on your life? So it's shadow on you like over all these years. It's like how is it? Yeah, everyone says they go to the playa, it's like, oh, it changed me. It's like what does that mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, I think that mm, I think that you just like you understand that you can live in a different way. I think that if once you experience a large scale event that actually look but also feel like society, then you just like, it's this idea that you're not going back, but you are like just bringing with you what make this society function in the way that is more suitable, that you think that is better. And so I think that this over the year is kind of like this is what's happening, you know. I mean, you smile more, you're more kind with people. You have this idea of helping, and then you understand that people is not used to be helped, you know, people is not used to be smiled at, and this is like just like so stupid, you know, like it costs nothing. So I think that this little you just like you have the possibility to live for enough amount of time in ways that change, like that inspire you to just be better to yourself at first. So this is something that can just continue elsewhere. And I think this is important. I mean, I think that's after all, regardless of the scale of the event or the place or whatever, this is what make this work and this play so meaningful
So when you
to be
first,
repeated.
yeah. So when you first experienced Dragonburn in 2014 and you met these people and you're like, wow, this is really interesting. And then you're like, yeah, now I'm going to go to Black Rock City, like, the following year. Like, was it like relatable, like the experience, I mean, this, whatever it was that you experienced at Dragonburn, like, you're like, oh yeah, I see this also like at Black Rock City, maybe like at a larger degree or scale.
I think.
Like,
Yeah, I think slightly, yes. It was well, of course, the things that is relatable is also because you go by scale. So you do your first event, then in Black Rock City, the first thing that you most likely do was like building the camp, and then you're building the camp in an environment that you absolutely have no idea. And then that was a year with a huge. There was like a kind of like a 60, 70 miles like windstorm for like
wow.
7 or 8 hours. And I remember that the camp was flying, and I was like I was holding one of the pole of the shade structure with my hand, and someone were holding my wrist. But I was kind of like I was like 20 centimeter like flying out, you know. And so that thing make you understand that it's like that you need to be helped too, that you need to figure it out how it goes. And of course we got heat stroke, even though we were doing everything right and drinking and all of these things, and we got me and my friend heat stroke. And then we fall, like we had like this enormous quarrel of like screaming against each other, because I was like, because she was kind of, I don't remember what was the thing, but it was like trying fixing the state, like ratcheting the shade structure. And I was like, oh, come on, I think this is a moment where we could learn a little bit of communal effort. And she was saying, well, maybe we could learn radical self-reliance instead, you know. And then we had you know, when you use the principle as a dart that you just throw
Oh,
to each other.
touche.
There was
Yeah.
touche, you know, exactly. So it
Yeah.
was so funny in the moment, but it lasted for a little time, because then we got both of us heat stroke, and then we were just like collapsed on the chair. But it put you to the edge where you really have, I mean, you really see the edge. So if you see the edge, then you kind of understand, you recalibrate yourself much more easily. And so for us, it's still something that we laugh a lot about, because we just, as soon as was possible, we were just like really like just throwing principle like against each other to try to find our own place in that crazy situation, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. So I don't know. I often ask people, what did you take home from Burning Man? But it's almost like well, you kind of picked whatever it is that lesson is like up first, and then went to Burning Man. And then maybe came
Yeah, a
back
little
with it a
bit.
little different.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think one other thing that I really like is the fact that there's no there's no limits to be surprised about something. Like to there is no limits to how things can be like special or absurd or like detailed, like meaningful in a way, like just very little thing. But the amount of yeah, the amount of care that you can see in how the things are made. Of course, the art is like for me is becoming much more interesting the small scale art and not the big art, or the big art that needs has this like kind of like you zoom in, like the power of 10, like you just go zoom in, and then you find that like the 1 centimeter little thing that is just like phenomenal. Or you
Hmm.
find someone that is just giving, like saying or giving the right thing to you in the moment where it's most helpful. I think is this is, I think it comes from a sense of care where you are into this environment where we are supportive of each other, but also of everything that is there. So this become like all of a sudden very easy. And that's, I think, is very good. It doesn't occupy space, and you can bring it home with you in big quantity. And then you can really just play with that a lot, because it's probably the thing that is most needed in a society where everybody's taking care of their own shit. And uh, so that, I think, is really cool. Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
that's really cool.
Okay. Well, it's about an hour and 10 minutes. Anything else you want to add? Yeah. Oh, is there like a website for or Facebook page like for Dragonburn, or like if
Yes.
anybody's
So
interested?
yeah, I wanted to actually share. So there is one website that is called dragonburn.org. It's not necessarily the most updated. There is also a Facebook, also Dragonburn. I think it's Dragonburn China, but if you can try to check on the
Yeah, I
fly
can.
and give you, but it should be easy to find as Dragonburn.
All right.
And these are probably the best. Like the email is info@dragonburn. Yeah, Dragonburn China on Facebook, and dragonburn.org website, and info@dragonburn.org. For anybody coming from with the information and things, and we are always very happy. And maybe I can say something a little bit more on I mean, it's interesting because we have a lot of occasion to share about our regional, or in general our event, which is of course very different and very particular, but there is um but because we were talking about the logistic before, it's kind of like we are really very um we can never be sure about how things turn out. And it's not like I see a lot of other regional where people is of course like in this big uh, challenge, and also endeavor to get the things organized, to have the departments, and to have the people in charge, and the leadership, and all of these things, which makes sense for like if you are in a functioning side of the world. But here is the opposite. It's kind of like you try to get things organized, but there is always this emergency situation that pops up one way or the other. So we have this capacity of making things out of nothing, and out of, like, again, like you change the venue in 3 days. I'm sure that in many other places, people would just, it's not that they would have give up, it's that they don't have the possibility to actually do it so quickly,
Yeah.
to just like reinvent. So we're kind of interesting for all of these things. So we maybe it's like the same. Maybe we cannot tell you 2 months in advance what's going to happen, but if you come, something will happen, and you would love it. For
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
guaranteed. And
It's funny. Like
we,
I've had a lot of the same experiences, like here in Hawaii, like doing the regional stuff. Like, yeah, we had an event that we've been planning for months, and literally it was like the night before the gate was supposed to open. Like the Mormon church who owned the land, or they just were just kind of just like, wait, is this what you're doing? No, no, you're not. And we had a contract and everything, but it was like, and so yeah, we had to struggle within like a day. I mean, we had people flying in from other countries and stuff. We're like,
and you managed.
we managed to find a place, but it's like, yeah, but here in Hawaii, it's like it's almost impossible to find like an event location. I mean, there's lots of places that look great, but like the landowners are like either like the federal government or the U.S. Army or the state of Hawaii, like,
Mhm.
or these large landowners like Dole, or something. And they're just not interested in Like, you know,
Mm-mm-mm.
it's like, oh, we'll leave no trace and we'll leave it better. But then, like, you know, you could make a couple of tens of thousands of dollars for like nothing. And they're just like, as a drop in the bucket. Like,
Right.
no,
Yeah.
no. Well, anyway, it's been going on an hour and 14. So, thank you very much. And
Thank you.
yeah, I'll talk to
I
you later.
hope it was the I hope it was interesting for you and for everybody that will listen to The Shadow of the Man.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this show, please subscribe, rate, and review it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. The more reviews the show has, the more likely it will even appear in search results. Also, please tell a friend and share this show with anyone that you think might like it. Word of mouth reaches quite far, especially in the Burning Man community. If you would like to contact us, please send an email to shadowofthemanpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow Shadow of the Man on social media at Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, X, and YouTube. The links for all of these are available at shadowoftheman.com. Feel free to use any of these social media accounts to provide any feedback you might have. Your thoughts on the show are greatly appreciated. Thank you, and see you soon for a new episode of The Shadow of the Man.
Thank you for listening to this latest show. We have to make another one, so gotta go. Don't worry, for next month we already have one in the can. Very soon you'll be listening to a new Shadow of the Man.